Hi everyone and welcome to the new video of our Windsurf Editor AI agent series. So in this series we are trying to find a better way how to work with AI agents, and particularly in Windsurf Editor, the one that Windsurf Editor has. And the whole idea of the videos that we are not allowed, it's not allowed for us to touch any single line of code. So we are trying to give proper commands to the AI agent and see how it works, and maybe check it, maybe review the changes, and then trying to move it to the right direction. But today we will try a different approach than the normal way, the way we were doing before that. We will try to not to propose single smaller changes, but instead we will try to ask Windsurf about the plan, what steps need to be done for us, and then we will try to follow these steps step by step. So if you are curious how it goes, what we will have at the end, then please take a look. Let's get started. What will we be doing differently? And just a shortcut, we're working on these 2 points: assign tasks to users and restrict access to tasks by user. I will show the problem. So this is our database MongoDB, and we have tasks, and we do have already some data populated. But if we take a look at every document which represents a specific separated task, we can see that it doesn't have user here assigned. So this leads to the problem. Whenever user I'm using to access the system, I will get the same list of tasks again and again and again. And we would like to restrict. So as a user, I should be able to see only my own tasks, and I should not, in any case, should have not have access to tasks of other users. And if you would continue as previously, I would tell you that, okay, we need to add user here as a property, keep user UUID, for example. Then we have to modify our controller, so we know a user ID. We have to send this information to services, maybe to repository, etc., etc. We need to seed already existing tasks so they have user A1, otherwise they are just lost in nowhere. But this time we will try a different approach. So what's different? We will try to ask about what should be done in Windsurf Editor and its AI agent, and then we will see how it processes. So we're kind of moving backward and let the AI drive the game. So this is the idea. We will try to explain the problem, the context, to Cascade, that's this guy. And then whatever is proposed, okay, we also will be reviewing that, of course, but in general, we will try to follow the approach that Cascade proposed us and see how it goes at the end. Okay, so let's give it a try. Let me formulate the context. So I'm saying, just to read it aloud if it's too small for you. At the moment, every task, I'm just repeating what I said already. At the moment, every task doesn't have a user or owners assigned with this. And this leads to a problem. I'm going to be fixing typos as well at the same time. Where all the users of our API will have access to all the tasks that are persistent in the system. And we don't like this at all. We would like to fix that. So this is the context, and we let the Cascade to research our code base again to make proper decisions. And let's give the assignment here. Alright, so I'm asking to check the code base, as I mentioned already, and the expected result would be a list of logical tasks or steps that we have to process one by one. So at the end, all the tasks will be assigned to users, separated and secretly hidden from other users. And I'm in a chat mode, so I'm not expecting anything to be changed here, just an analysis and some steps at the end. All right, it's here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we have, and maybe we have some ideas that we have to do differently. We have to update task domain model, and this one is this one, and we don't have user here. That's logical, right? So we have to update task domain model. That's true. We have to update database schema. That's also true. We have to update task repository layer, right? Then you update in task service layer. Well, there are multiple ways how you can do this, and I'm curious which way the cascade would take, but we will see it. Then update security configuration. That sounds very generic for me. I have no idea what's behind, like add a method, security annotation. We'll see how it goes. We have to update API layer, endpoint to automatically set owner. Okay, sounds logical. And data migration, we have to, I mentioned that right already, and testing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to document it somewhere. I will be using every single step as a context. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy paste this plan, and we will be using it. Maybe we don't have time for everything, like data migration, maybe throughout our testing. We will see how much time we have. And this one I will save somewhere, like in text editor, so to keep the formatting. Let me maybe make it bigger. It's hard. Anyway, okay. So the idea, I will be taking every single step as a context for editor, and then we will see how it processes its own tasks. All right, so let's start. Well, that's interesting. It said it updated already task service, and if we check here, the task service layer was step number 4 already. So it's breaking its own steps, but okay, let's check what we have. The task itself, okay. We have user ID as owner ID, that's correct. Create new, we have to provide, okay. And here okay, I like everything so far. It's very important note. Create task request, and this one I don't like at all. Why? I will explain you. The problem here is that this is DTO object, so this is what is stored in the request body. And then we have a situation where I'm a user A. Let's say I'm a user A, and I'm creating a request to create a new task. And in this task, I should either again provide my UUID, which I have no idea about, or I can substitute it to UUID of user B and create a task for user B. So it's really bad decision, I would say. We need to tell that our AI agent. All right, something was fixed. We went back to the old version of our create task request, so we don't have to review it at all, and we have some changes in task service. So what's there? Let's check it. All right, we made our task service user aware, and we have user repository for some reasons, and this reason is to double check that user exists by username. In principle, username. Okay, let's keep it like that. Maybe better approach would be well, just in general, because we have lack of time, we keep it like that. But in general, the way I would prefer, maybe we have to create our own component which gets the user context from Spring Security, which makes all this kind of validation already, and we can fetch directly UUID of this user. So what's happening, again, yeah, we have a username from the security context, and at this point, we are expecting that authentication happened already, and we know the user. We fetch the user from the user repository. Oh, okay, there is a check anyway. If username was incorrect or for some reasons, I don't know why these reasons could happen, but anyway, we get the user ID, and then we create a task and save it, and I think that's it, right? Let's use this button. Okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. For me, it's still a question, like if we should call here user service, maybe. So we have a user service on this level, which is responsible for all the users. But okay, let's reuse repository. I mean, I'm not happy with this solution, but it's good enough. It's workable. Okay. All right. Okay, and here we have another validation that owner should be defined. So our expectation that database schema should be updated, a new owner field exists in the task document, which belongs to world of Mongo. We do have a new indexing for some reasons, for efficient querying, okay, and create a database migration script if needed. Let's work on this and see how it goes. Okay, it created migration, and then again for me it's a question. We have step number 7, which is also about data migration. Somehow we are doing 2 steps at a time, and the first one and somewhere from the middle. But that's the way, unfortunately, that AI agent can work. All right, so we have owner ID is a field, as a string. Why it's string? If it should be UUID, I guess. Okay, but for ID we also have string. Let's ask this question anyway. And this is interesting thing I like about AI agents, not that they are always right, but that sometimes they would tell you, well, you know, actually it's better to keep the old way, or actually it's better not to process the way you want it because of this and that. Maybe it's not correct, but at least you have a chance to read it through and maybe change your mind and make another decision. So here it left still string as owner, and it has a conversion. And well, I don't want to fight against this anyway. We asked the question, the answer was, okay, it's better to keep the string, let's keep it as string. All right? I mean, in a real life application, of course, you would spend much more time thinking about different aspects of this problem, but now for us it's good enough, okay? So I'm accepting all the changes from this document. And then we do have task owner migration, which is stored in new migration folder or package. And we had already another migration, and I have no idea where it was. All right, one improvement could be to move this migration to the proper place, so we store everything in a single package. But anyway, let's keep it here for simplicity, and let's check what we have here. We have a migrate database. Okay, let me just quickly review it. We are getting default owner ID. Okay, we take the first user, and the first user will be the owner of all the already existing tasks that don't have owner ID. And then we just upserting those documents, tasks, and setting the UUID of the first user. And then the record migration is completed. Migration ID applied at. Okay, this approach is even more clever, right? Because What's happening here? In which collection is that? Migration collection. Get collection. Okay, just take a look at that. What happened? The AI agent decided that from this moment we will have a new collection, our Mongo database, which will be responsible for all the different migrations, seeding all these one-time tasks with where you're performing something in database, or like a general approach, you can use it for everything. So there will be a new collection with the name migration, and then you define the your migration ID, I guess, which is this one in that case. And then once it's done, it creates a new document where you have the migration ID and the time when the migration happened. That's a pretty clever approach, and I'm really curious why it didn't create it in the first place initially when we were migrating users, I guess, or something. But anyway, this is a really good approach. All right, so I'm accepting it as well. And now I think it's not compilable, right? Let's build a project. Maybe it's time. So what we can do, we can stop for a moment. We can build the project, ensure that it's buildable, it's runnable. We can try to run it. Then we would see the migration already, right? And then, for example, we can use the second user and create a task. And then we can check with the get list that the only single task is available for this user. All right, so let's build it and try. Okay, we have some changes because of build failures, because of clashing some names. User repository find all users. Well, what was wrong with find all? I don't know, but let's accept it's not important changes for us in the moment. I mean, in normal way, of course, you would very carefully look through all the changes because it's your real life code. But for that, because of lack of time, we are trying to check only very important, crucial points which can break the whole thing, right? So what we have here, generate random task. Well, we even don't need this class at all, and it still was fixed. Okay, accept. Mongo user repository, and here we have, what do we have here? Find all users. Find all, stream to map, and doc to the main user, and to collection to list. Okay, very minor thing. Task owner migration, again, okay, the naming was changed, right? This is the only change. And task controller task because of user UID, we have to do the modifications. All right, so let's try and run our project. So what the expected output should be here. The migration should happen, right? We will check Mongo database mainly in the browser. Then we will try to create a new task. Well, we will maybe get a list for the second user, or maybe we'll create a new user because I don't remember any single password. And then we'll get a list of users, should be empty list, and then we can add a new task for this user, and then we get the list again, and then this task should be shown as a result. All right, it says successfully migrated tasks to include owner ID, and let's give it a try. Let me refresh it and go here, and now we have owner ID and into 5e, and if I go to the user collection, we have a migration as well. And this 5e, this is the first user. So the first user now owns all the tasks in our database. It was around 500 or something. And we have migrations, and we have this add owner to task 0001 and apply that. Well, here maybe we have to store the normal date, but okay, not today, definitely, right? Let's create a new user, and let's save our time. I'm just going to give tasks to cascade. So we'll be lazy today. We just give a command and see the result. All right, we created a user password 123 with the email and ID, and if I go back to the user collection, I should see it now. It's this one. Okay, and see that it's not working right. It gets me all the 500 tasks. Well, maybe it's not fixed yet. Maybe it's a error. I don't know. Modify to include owner in task creation and owner validation in task operation. Delete update task retrieval methods to filter. Okay, it's not here yet. It's number 4 step. And I'm going to stop here my app. Okay, we do have some changes. Let's review them quickly. We do have Java docs for some reason. I don't know. Find task by owner. The specific pagination. Well, I'm not sure then why would we need this find tasks. Maybe my expectation would be that we just add owner ID here as a mandatory field, so not duplicating the stuff. It's belong to a specific owner. Find a task. For some reasons we have find single task. I don't know where it will be used at all, but okay, let's keep it like that. And we have a new delete a task by ID only if it belongs to the specific owner. That's way too complex, I think. And we do have a query, and last time we had really big problems with queries. No, not with queries, but with the way the AI agent was generating them. So I would like to avoid this if possible. Okay, let's maybe find task by owner. What's the reason? By owner and filters. Well, it's way too complex now. I don't like it. Maybe we should ask about that, otherwise we are stuck somewhere next half an hour trying to solve different problems. All right, we removed something. That's always a good thing. And here in Mongo, what's that? Find task, find by filters, and find all. Otherwise, find by name containing, and it's a really interesting thing. Why do you need this find by ID and owner ID? Where it's used, I don't know. Well, this one is arguable because its owner ID is not defined, then we are using null, and so something will be returned while we have to throw an exception instead. But again, let's keep it like that. Why do we need this deletion at all? Let's ask this question, because I have no idea. Like, we have new methods, and I don't know why. And I'm switching to chat mode. Okay, it says because we have find by ID and delete by ID, and that's why we need a duplication which works with the user owner UUID as well, and it offers another approach to make additional check in the service layer, so then we can reuse those. But I mean, frankly speaking, we are using these methods on the service layer, so I would modify them so they take also the user UUID, and that's it. And you see, like, if you just blindly follow the tasks, the steps that were offered by AI agent, for me it's much harder the work seems right now comparing to the previous sessions where I was in control of everything, because I have to think more about the problems. I have to make decisions which I didn't have previously. Like, it's really, well, I'm not happy with this session today. Okay, another round of reviewing. So what do we have here? Find by ID. Well, name was not. The method was not renamed. What I mean, it's still delete by, rename by, and find by ID and delete by. We don't need this to write. We agreed on having find by, delete by. Okay, let's check it again. We have find by, delete by. I'm not going to ask to rename it because I'm already tired of this process. It's a minor thing. You can do it on your own if you want. In production code, of course, you have to do it, but not here. And then, okay, again, this query, which will break everything. And again query, and again query. And optional owner ID. Why it's optional? Because to make it generic, right? All right, I would propose find my ID. I would propose get rid of these queries, not because they are ugly or something, but last time, my personal experience with AI agent, last time constructing such a complex query led to a really disaster. We spent like half an hour trying to fix the problem. And this time, I don't want to repeat this experience again. So let's build it. Let's try to run it. Let's try to check if the filtering by owner ID is working already. It stopped somewhere in the middle. It was how many? 5, 6 cycles of building and failing. It offered me 4 files to review, like kind of created another copy of applications, totally different approach, and it's still in the process, right? No, please build the project first. I don't want to review it until it's buildable back again. Well, and again we have the same situation here, right? After another 6 cycles of constantly failing, it stopped and just offered me changes. Like, I don't know, what should I do with that? Windsurf, Cascade. Are you offering me to stop here and fix it by myself or what? I don't know. And finally, after the application was completely rewritten, we had our build success thing. And for previous stops, I think I know the reason. Like, most probably they have limitation. Like after, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 cycles of not successing, the AI agent just stops the work and let the user to interact and to guide it again. Something like that, I guess, happened. All right, as I said, half of the app was rewritten. I'm going to accept all not important at the moment changes. Like this one in memory, no one is using it anymore, and we still have a lot of stuff changed here. What else? Task service. Task name cannot be null or empty. Some additional validations happened. Tags. Okay, due date. Well, a lot of unrelated to the task stuff happened already here, and some renaming as well. Well, maybe we have to set more clear restrictions next time, like method signatures should not be changed. You have to keep this and that. Get task by ID, and we are putting owner here. It's interesting. We know the owner, right? And we return it. Well, not started. What should I tell? I'm lost already. Like, I really don't understand. Multiple things. Get task by ID. It should be already user aware, and it just finds the task and returns it. Okay, let's maybe accept something that's more simple. What was wrong with the previous method here again? I don't get it. What was the reason of renaming here? Okay, now I understand why I didn't go this path before, why I always try to give my exact order. Let's maybe check method by method, so it's user aware. And for task creation, we have owner ID. Okay, we get it from repository, and we have it from security context. Maybe there should be a method in the whole task service that gives you the user ID. And this one we should use owner ID, because I don't know, it's really nonsense that you're returning just task by ID and it's not user aware. And for task update, it's the same thing should happen, right? And deletion also find by ID for whatever user. Wow. It's very cool stuff. Let's try and fix it maybe. All right, I'm accepting everything and the project is buildable. Let's run it and test if it's working correctly or not. And this is nice. See, there are no tasks yet. The content is empty, array, and it tries to create a new task for user 123. And now we get the list of all the tasks for user 123. All right, and it's here, and it was formatted in this bullet point way. The total tasks 1, page size 1, and so on. All right, thank you for sticking till the end with me. As you saw, it was not so easy experience at the end of the day. Well, it was not so successful. Finally, we almost got stuck in the process and it was not clear how to process the next steps. But anyway, even we had these difficulties, yeah, agents are really great help for your AI-based, AI-driven development. So anyway, that was Evgeny. Thanks again and see you soon. Bye-bye.